Good morning everyone, it's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it is time to showcase the new White Rice Ice Queen, Velzard. Our latest stacking protector for a game that has a lot of stacking protectors. Does she bring anything new to the table? No. Sadly, no. Is she very strong? Yeah, she can definitely help you do a lot of damage. But in my opinion, just before we even showcase anything, they could have done a little bit more, right? She follows the same exact cookie cutter thing that all stacking protectors do, just like Diablo did 2 metas ago. He essentially does what Velzard does, just with like one small difference. So, I mean, she's good. I wish she was better. But what does she even do? Let's find out. She increases damage done by any physical character to a space enemy by 50%. So that right there is very good, because the previous two protectors, Frey and Diablo, they were specifically like one typing. So Diablo was increases damage done by Fount of Wisdom characters to water enemies. Alright, so you were restricted to only Fount of Wisdom that got that extra damage buff, and that was a 60% buff. Frey was World of Fantasy characters, did 60% extra damage to fire enemies. Alright, you were limited to being on World of Fantasy. Velzard kind of opens up the game quite a bit by just being, you have to be a physical character, which there are a lot of physical characters, of which the last two EX metas we've got have all been physical. So they could all be on this team, and they can still get that extra damage buff. However, to curb that, they dropped down that extra damage done from 60% to 50%, which honestly, it doesn't matter. Oh no, 10%. They took away 10% to open up half the game. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. And then as a second part, she buffs Warrior's Mind characters' attack and defense by 20%, which actually is also different because sometimes the last two metas buffed two different teams. This is just buffing Warrior's Mind, so she got specific there, but she's not specific for the extra damage buff, which I kind of prefer this way for Velzard than I do for Frey and Diablo, because I want that extra damage. The extra stats are cool, fine and dandy, whatever, but as long as other people can do the extra damage, that's really going to help you out. Her skill is the same as any other protector, right? So she increases your skill cost by 40 every single time you use her, and then she buffs blue gauge skill point gain by 100% up to 500%, which capped out, if you're not using anything special like charms, you get about 293 skill points on a full hand of blues once you're at 500%, which is a lot. But her first skill, or the first part of her skill, is where she's slightly different. So she increases Warrior's Mind characters or Dragon Hakai characters' attack by 12% forever. Stackable, so 12, 24, 36, math. It can go quite high, only on those two categories, which makes her specific in that sense. So any physical character can get a damage increase, but only these two categories are actually getting this extra 12% stacks every single time. So it's a little bit unfortunate, considering Diablo was just alt damage reduction, and that can do anyone. Anyone can do that, because anyone can alt, right? So there's that. Her Valor trait is total ass. It's, you reduce your single target, or you up your single target resistance of allies if they have an alt in Valor Cup. It's terrible. She's a stacking protector. You shouldn't be bringing her in Valor Cup anyways. Her actual trait is pretty good. So at level 112, with 3 dupes in her, you get a 14% crit damage buff if one or more people on your team have 70% or lower HP, which she's meant for a long-term fight. You're probably going to take damage at least on one person, so that is not hard to do. It is the better way to do this, rather than having crit damage above a certain HP threshold, because then as soon as you drop down, it's gone. This, you don't have it, but then once you get towards the end of the fight and you're ready to nuke, someone is probably close to death. Then you get the damage buff. That's very good. If you get her up to 120, you get an extra 5% on the support stuff, so cool. Not really that important to be 25% right here, and then it would be 13% on Warrior's Mind Force character's attack. Cool. Let's try her out. Okay, so we're pretty deep into the fight, but it's because we've already seen this stage run with this specific team for the last 2 showcase videos, right? For Guy's video and Valentine's video. So we don't need to see everything about it. But we are on turn 6. We have been stacking quite a bit, so Guy right now has an extra 6... Well, he has an extra 48% attack from Velzard. We just used Valentine's extra skill where we got another protection gauge of Velzard. What was that message? Hold on. Activate protection. That was a weird... I don't remember seeing that green text before, but whatever. So we've got 2 more stacks of that now, and we'll get Valentine out of here. I think we can orb change out of it, so let's do this. Yeah, we can work with this. So there's the greens, there's the orange, cool Beanos. Guy already has an EX ult, but that's the orb. That's the ult orb that was swapped by the hero, so don't need to worry about that. He's now doing 14,000 damage on his normals, and then 30.9 on his 200%, so that's very good. We now have 3 ults for our primary units, so also very, very good. I kind of don't want to... I don't want to have anyone die, so I think we're just going to run it like this. We only have to go 1 more turn, so we'll leave it. I'm not even concerned about this, so let's just use that, and then we can see big damage numbers from our 2 single target units, because Milim's going to buff them, because that's who we got. So attack buff for Milim, and then let's go ahead and bring in the hero to lower the resistance. And the only way all of these skill point usage is possible is because we have a stacking character who can give us a whole bunch of skill points every time we use her. So that's the only reason. We don't have an orb for Valentine. That is unfortunate, but also it doesn't really matter because we're going to get everything about it anyways. And between Xion and EX Guy's ult and these 2 extra stacks of Velzard, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So what is Guy sitting at in terms of extra attack right now? He is at 116% attack. So we're getting an extra 96% attack, if my math serves me correctly, because he starts at 20% attack. So that's a fairly decent chunk. So now we're up to 31.8k attack on him, and we're going to hit like a motherfucking truck. So let's send these 2 orbs, 1 nerfed and 1 good, Xion's ult, and then Guy's ult. So 60k, 149k, and then Xion with her ult does 385,000, and then Guy... Oh, we pierced. Well, that's not good. We would have done 1 million, maybe 1,000,002, but we pierced, which cut our damage down by 100%. So, oh well. We still managed to kill him, though, which is cool. Let's move on to Velzard leading not this specific team. Okay, so next up, we're not going to use any of the new meta units, at least in a battle format setting, but we're going to use Velzard to instead use her skill and buff Space Milim and Carrion, since both of them are either on Warrior's Mind or Dragon Hakai. And we're going to go into the old Space 1.0 Tempered Edge, because that's where we're going to use Milim and Carrion. But we're not going to do that extra 50% damage, because, Carrion technically is physical, but we're not fighting a space unit, so no one's going to get that across the board. However, we're still going to get those 12% stacks with Milim and Carrion. And because of Milim's Drago effect, once we're ready to nuke and we use Drago, those 12% stacks will suddenly become much, much higher. So this should be interesting, but also we don't have set starting hands on this, so I'll be right back. Alright, we'll try and run with this. So we got 3 oranges and 3 blues. We have another orange coming in, but hopefully we can orb change those away. So let's take you out for Shuna, and let's bring you in for Reamer, who doesn't have any orbs to begin with. And then we will start stacking. So essentially, what Velzard is doing for this team is essentially being a much better Space Veldora. Because Space Veldora is buffing a space attack by 10%, which technically would also hit the hero, but we're not using the hero in a DPS format here. She is here for support, so it doesn't really matter that we're not hitting her, but we're still getting the buffs on Carrion and Milim, being our single target units. So, let's get Carrion out of here, because I kind of want the trait from the hero. Although, I guess it doesn't really matter, because we're going to get full gauge anyway. So, oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, there we go. So it doesn't really matter. But, I mean, this team is going to work just fine. Like, there are going to be no problems running this team in this scenario, because it's doing the same thing. It's doing what we wanted to do. Okay, so Shuna being... that's not great, but let's... 72 points. We can take the hero out for Rimuru. Steal, and then use his green. Yeah, that sounds good. So, let's do that. And then steal, and then green orb change. Milim has no orbs, but I think we're better off bringing Carrion in for Shuna. That way she doesn't get hit anymore, and Rimuru can just stay and we'll just deal with it. But so there's 12% on Carrion and Milim, so they are getting it. Even though we're not doing that extra 50% damage buff, it's fine, because at the end of the day, we want these two to do more damage on their normal orbs and their ults. Which I prefer the units that do this, which stack over time like normal damage, because it helps us chip away, right? So Diablo is lowering his ult resistance down, which was cool, but only matters when you're ulting, which ideally you want to do. However, up until that point, you're doing almost no damage, because your normal orbs are untouched, because your attack stats are not increasing at all. It's just their resistance to ults specifically are going down. So in that kind of stacking format, I didn't really enjoy. He is a very good generalized protector, though, because everybody ults, right? And it's not specific, like only when a space unit ults, or only when a magic unit ults. It's just when somebody ults, you do 100% extra damage, or 1,000% extra damage, I don't know, however you want to stack them. But this team can run better, because not only are you going to do a lot of damage on your ult, but you're going to do more damage along the way, which makes tanky characters who have guard, who have physical and magic resistance, you're going to help them hit, normal stats or higher, depending on how long you go. And that is just much, much more useful. So let's do both of these orb changes and we'll be covered. And then we can bring the hero back in and maybe use a rewind for funsies? Just for funsies, I guess? Yeah, why not? So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That gets Milim's ult, so good. I think we can nuke on turn 6. I think is when her resistance leaves, and then we have to wait until turn 11. So we're going to get quite a bit of stacks right here, and hopefully we can get Carrion's ult, that way we can just send it. Or we can do that, so, oh well. I think we have, one more turn, because it's not blinking yet, so... let's just do this, and then we can get Carrion out of here. Or we can get Milim out of here, and get Carrion some orbs, hopefully. Alright, cool. So yeah, even though she has magic resistance, physical resistance, we're still doing a lot of damage, especially compared to the hero. Like, Milim's doing 6,000, and the hero is attack nerfed, yes, but she was doing 1,300 damage. So that just goes to show right there that we're already doing a lot more, because our attack stat is consistently going higher, which now it's sitting pretty at 17.4k. Yeah, I'd call that pretty good. Let's get you out of here. So how is this gonna work? Let's get you out. We could steal, right? And then do 2 orange orb changes here. Or maybe we'll just do this, because, well, can we get Carrion's ult with this? We can. Alright, so yeah, let's just do this instead of trying to work out everything. Also gets us the hero's ult, which is good. It doesn't really matter, but 12,000 damage for Carrion. Thankfully, Rimuru has an orb, and he's the one that got hit. So hopefully don't die. Alright, good. So, let's bring Shuna in now for Rimuru. And then we'll use the ult buff. And then we'll bring Milim in. And then we'll get those that last stack on. So, how many stacks is this? This is 6 stacks now? So Milim currently sits at 72% extra attack. Good, alright. Let's use Drago and let's figure out how much higher that goes. So 72% is now, because of Drago, at 86.4%. So it does go up. So you can, whatever stacks you get from Velzard onto Milim, the Drago will enhance that. And that also stacks with her own temporary attack buff of 24% right here, which would have only been, what, 20%, right? I think on Drago? Yeah. So, because the attack buff from Velzard is a permanent buff, it will go alongside a temporary one-turn buff that Milim is giving herself. Just like on the new team, if you were to use Carrion's crit damage, that would stack on top of Shion's permanent crit damage. So just keep that in mind. But we're fully buffed now. How much health do you have? I don't actually know. 142k. Will Carrion kill? I don't know. I know Milim will, but will Carrion kill? I haven't seen this ult in a long time, so let's go ahead and use it. So yeah, she leads the space team just fine. In fact, I think she leads it better than Veldora, which is fine because Veldora is actually a year old now. Like, he was the half anniversary protector for last year. 261 we killed. Alright, so yeah, very good damage. Carrion also got his own personal, like, 25% attack buff on his own skill, so that also stacks with the 72% that we were giving him from Velzard. So yeah, this works fine. Let's, is there anyone on the light team that's part of this? Or the water team? I don't know, hold on. We'll try and find another team for you guys. Alright, so the next team we're going to focus on Velzard leading is going to be the water team with the new Fantasy Milim, because Fantasy Milim is on Dragon Hakai, so she will also receive that extra stacks of attack, which she can use very, very well, because this team isn't necessarily a cheap bursty team, which is what she wants, because she wants you to use a whole bunch of skills in 4 turns to get her crit damage stacked up. So in order to offset that, we're just going to keep raising her attack. So, I mean, it'll even out eventually, right? So we've got Shuna for the orb changing, Reimu for the orb changing, Shion for the buffing, and then also Fire Milim to seal the crit on this enemy, Shuna. So let's go ahead and try this out, but this again is not a set hand, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, let's see if this turn works. This is definitely not my, like, 10th time resetting this stage. Totally not. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's get the 46 points. The traits from Shuna and Hinata will give us 50 points that we can use to orb change this hand. So let's do, hold on. Ooh, hold on, we can do this, and then we can do Fire Milim's orb change and not have to use any extra points. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. Let's get Shion out of here. We can use this to do that. Good, cheap skills, that's what I like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That gets us 2 stacks of Velzard ready to go, just in time to take our Water Milim away to avoid that attack nerf that this Shuna puts on turn 3. And we get a decent hand out of it too. Okay. Alright, so let's do that. And then because we kept Rimuru's skills cheap, we can actually use both of his to get a good hand here. So Milim needs to go away, which we can definitely do. And then we're going to steal and then green change. So steal, green change. Perfect. And then we'll bring Shion back in for Water Rimuru for turn 4 to get those extra traits going. Perfect. And avoid the attack nerf, which everyone else is still nerfed, which is fine, because they're not the whole point of this video. 6,000 damage, cool. No one else is getting the stack but our Milim, our Water Milim in the back. And what kind of hand? We get a good hand again. Awesome. So Water Rimuru comes back for Fire Milim. She's taken a beating, apparently. So orange and green, green-orange, whatever order you wanted to talk about. And then let's bring you in. We have the alt gauge charm on Velzard, so this will get Milim's alt right here. And another stack. So there we go. So next turn we'll have her ult ready. We might try and push for an EX ult, because why not? And I want to see damage. But that is the last turn that we could stack with Milim for crit damage. Now everything after that is purely just her attack stat going up and up and up. So let's do a stack, and then ooh, we're gonna send this ult because I don't want it here anymore. So let's get Milim out of here. That'll bring in that orange, and then we can use Shuna's orb change and then this Milim's orb change to get a full hand. This is working out a lot better than the last like 8 runs. Just gonna let you know that right now. The last 8 runs were pretty painful, and we had not as many stacks, and we were at the nuke turn. They were painful. So this is working out pretty well. But can we actually kill this Shuna with a one-shot? I don't actually know. We have to get Milim's EX ult for me to really guarantee that. And stop hitting Milim, Jesus Christ. Ooh, so what are we gonna do here? We can do this, we can do that. And then you're gonna come in for fire. Actually, no, you're gonna come in for fire Milim. We're gonna orb change you. And then you're gonna get out of here. Alright, and then get another stack, extra ult gauge from the charm, and then we'll just have to work on getting her like 2 more orbs plus the charm, and then I think we're ready to go. So next turn we have to hope that we get 2 more orbs for her, which we do. Perfect. Alright, I don't have to do anything. And a super counter for 260 damage. Holy crap. We are rolling. Alright. Let's do the charm. Let's get 1 more stack, and then we'll be ready to nuke. This plus the turn will get us, yep, her ult plus another stack next turn. We're ready to go. We're ready to do this. Plus we get Shion's ult for funsies. All right, another counter. Cool beans. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we are ready to go. So let's put the final stack on Milim. And what are we sitting at now? We're sitting at 84% extra attack, which is on top of everything, since no one else is giving us attack here. So that's good, and that's before we use any of the other buffs. So let's go ahead and use hers, this one, this one, this one, and then we just need the crit seal, and then we'll be ready to go from Fire Milim in the back. And we'll take out Shuna, because she does not have an ult. And how many points do we have actually after that? I would not say enough. Alright, we'll just have to live those 2 Milim orbs. So yep, we'll do this. We will seal that, and then I guess we can use the one right here. Sure, that works out. Alright, so now crit sealed. Milim now has the 84% attack plus another 30% attack right here, so she's up to 24k attack alongside the crit damage from the trait from Velzard, because someone's under 70% HP, so that's good. Plus another 43% crit damage, so we're actually at 57% crit damage. Water attack 50, guaranteed crits, magic attack plus 10%, which doesn't apply to her because she's physical. And then we have the water resistance down, and then the 70% ult buff. So let's send Shion first, and then the Milim orbs, and then we'll send the Milim ult and see how much we do here. Shion does 59k, alright. Milim orbs do 40k, 44k, and then the EX ult for 502,000 damage. That's pretty good for not having, the most amount of crit damage stacks, which is really what she wants. So I'd call that pretty good, and again, yeah, she can lead this team. You can use Milim in place of Hinata as long as you have someone to seal that crit, which is going to be Fire Milim. Otherwise, no one else can do it if you don't have Hinata. I think I have one more example team to use before we end the video, so hold on. Alright, so the last team we're going to use is the Fount of Wisdom team, because EX Hinata, as the nuking character, is on Warrior's Mind, which means she will get the extra attack stacks from Velzard, plus the extra damage if we were against space enemy, which we're not, because she has type disadvantage. However, we're also bringing Wind Shizu, the 1.5 anti-Shizu, who also stacks attack for Fount of Wisdom. So, I actually haven't done this yet, but we're going to see if Shizu's 15% stacks go hand in hand with Velzard's 12% stacks, and if that's the case, then holy shit, Hinata's going to do a lot of damage. Let's find out. Except, oh, actually no, this is a set starting hand. We're going into the light 3.0 tempered edge because the Fount of Wisdom Beatdown Battle isn't here anymore, so there's not much we can do about it. But it is a blue-focused stage with an enemy that has a lot of HP, so we don't have to worry about him dying too quickly. And hopefully we don't have to worry about taking too much damage, because we're on EX3 and not 5. So he only has like 1.3 million HP, whatever. So thankfully Hinata, turn 1, can help us orb change that, which would normally be for Soka. But it works out fairly well for us. So turn 1, we'll do this. And then we shall begin the stacking power with Hinata. So 17, 22, 3000... we're going to have to wait a while before we can see some Shizu stacks, depending on our orb RNG, which could have been better. Okay, well, what are we going to do here? We could oh, hold on, wait. No, because we don't have enough points, right? Yeah, we only have 58. Okay, we're going to have to burn some orbs out then. So let's bring Shizu in, because she's on... No, she's not on Warrior's Mind. What are we doing? Let's just do this. Let's do the stack on Hinata. So there we go, her attack is going up. Let's use these oranges before they get nerfed. Well, he already has a whole bunch of resistance now. Okay, well, that's just hilarious, game. Come on now. Get another stack. Do we have enough to use his orb, or her orb change plus Albus? Yes, okay, perfect. So then hopefully next turn we can start seeing if we can stack Shizu alongside Velzard. And if it does, then that's going to be really, really nice, because we're also doing 1 damage. So, not great. He does lose his defense and his physical resistance on turn 8, so we can get around that technically. Let's use Velzard again. I think we'll just run this the same way. We're also getting ult gauge for her, so we can get her EX ult. Let's use this and that, and then we can get probably Albus out of here, and then bring Shizu in. Right? Hold on, 15 plus 6, so that's, what, 80 points right there? We have 81. Ooh. We could do that, but I kind of want to get rid of this ult, so let's just not worry about it. So Shizu. She gets World of Fantasy and Fount of Wisdom Force characters attack until the end of battle by 15%, unlimited. Velzard gives Warrior's Mind attack till the end of battle by 12%, unlimited. So right now, Hinata has 56% attack. So will this go on? I feel like it will. And did it go up? It did go up. All right. So you can, because they're both unlimited, right? They don't have a cap. So we can get 12% here, 15% here. It's just that she's going to end up costing a lot more, right? Because it's going to end up costing a lot more in the long run. But that means that we can definitely have Hinata hit really, really, really hard. All right, 1 damage. Actually, do we do any more? Oh, we do 918, so we're past the 1 damage mark already. Okay, that works out pretty well. Let's do another stack of Velzard, get her attack up. So now instead of 71, that is 83% attack. Yep, 83, plus another stack of Shizu, so that is going to be 98%. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. I think Ooh. Do we... Yeah, I think that's what we do. Let's get the hero in here for Shizu. And then let's go ahead and swap that alt orb, because that will be that. We'll bring Albus in, and then we'll have our entire orb changing gamut ready to go. So we've got Albus, and then we've got Hinata's own orb change, and that gives us 3 orbs for Hinata, which is going to look really good for her EX ult. So I think, yeah, next turn we'll give her a little bit, and then she just needs a few more orbs. And then we'll be ready to nuke, which I highly doubt we're going to kill here, because he just has way too much health, especially if he counters so much. Whatever. Oh, that's a really good hand. Hold on. Hold on. Do we have any Hinata orbs? We have no Hinata orbs, but if we swap it out, we will have Hinata orbs. And we have... Oh, we're done then. Okay. So, let's do... Let's do Rimuru. We don't need Rimuru because it's going to be a green now, and we can just use Hinata's again. Yeah, that works. Okay, so let's swap the alt, and then we'll bring Shizu in for another stack. Yes, yes, I like this a lot. Alright, and then 2 stacks of Velzard, so that's another 24% attack on top of everything we've given her from Shizu. This will get her EX ult now. So yeah, we're looking real good. I think this also gets Albus's ult, so we can launch that on top of it. I don't think we can get Reamer's ult. Also, she's only doing 1 damage, so I don't think she's going to hit very hard anyways. Alright, so now after this turn is over, his defense and his physical resistance is leaving. His crit resistance remains, but no one on this team is critting. Or at least not supposed to be critting, I guess is the term we'll go for. So let's use this orb change, get those done. Let's get another stack on her. Hopefully that didn't screw me over for as far as orbs is concerned. Let's use another stack of Velzard. And let's see if we can make this into something nice. So we can bring you in for Hinata. Yes. Alright. And then we can... do we have enough to swap there? We don't have enough to swap. Okay. So we're just going to have to run with this orb change right here, right? Because if we try and swap the orbs again, that's 40 points, and we don't have enough. We're 5 points shy. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and do that. We should make up quite a bit here. 185 points. Is that enough to use everything? We only need 260, technically, to do all 3 of the big-time buffs. Holy, okay, he really hates Shizu. 8, 16, 24... plus 95. We don't have enough to do that, so... Okay. Oh, plus the resistance down. We can do that, though. We do have enough for that. So, let's get the hero in here for Shizu, because we can't use a stack of her. Let's lower the resistance. Which means that Albus will also hit harder, because there's also dark resistance there. And then we'll bring Hinata in for the hero. Yes, and then we'll get 1 more stack on Hinata. Now, whether or not this kills, that doesn't matter. This was a test to see the stacks. We have 176% attack in 8 turns. I would consider that pretty good. Pretty good right there. 31.8k, and then let's use these buffs. So there's the attack, there's the pierce, here's the physical attack and physical resistance down. And now, what is Hinata's attack stat up to? 38.7, so we have 176% attack here. We have 6% attack right here, so that's actually 236%, right? If math serves me well. Guaranteed pierce, physical attack 65%, plus the 40% alt buff. Yep. And then the 50% resistance down across the board, plus the physical resistance, plus the pierce resistance. So how much health does Veldora have? 1.31 million. I don't think we're going to do that, but it'll be fun to see, right? Let's send the 2 normal orbs, the Albus alt, and then the Hinata alt. Actually, no. We'll do that out of order. We'll do the Albus alt first to lower whatever she does, and then we'll send the orbs. So Albus does 50k, alright. 67, 72,000 damage, and then Hinata's alt, we'll watch this because it's the end of the video. So for the outro, like, what do you guys think of Velzard? She can run a few different teams pretty efficiently as far as stacking is concerned. Are there better ones? Yeah, maybe for those dedicated teams, but this works out. 439,000 damage. For being type neutral, not having that extra, like, 60% damage buff that Diablo would give against the specific enemy. Serviceable. I think that's pretty good. Could it have been better? Probably. Does it work, though? It sure can. And it's good to know that the Shizu stacks alongside the Velzard. So, science, kids. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Protector Velzard. I think she is good. She's just the same as every other stacking Protector, which kind of makes me sad because this is the half anniversary unit, and I think she should have done maybe a little bit more. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.